What's going on, Jets fans? Welcome into the Jets Report. My name is Patrick Siepman. We got some new updates for you guys on two players, that being Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. What is their futures looking like in New York? Well, we'll break it down on today's show. But before we do so, if you guys are a big-time Jets fan and want to help us grow our Jets Report channel here at Chat Sports, just go down there, hit that subscribe button. We are 69 subscribers away from 2,500, so that'd be awesome if we could hit that milestone on today's show. And if you guys want to stay up to date around the latest on your New York Jets, hit that subscribe button today. All right, so Aaron Rodgers was at a golf tournament this past week, and some guy ran up to him and was like, "Hey, what's your future with the New York Jets looking like?" And he says, "I'm just enjoying my time right now. I've talked with the Jets. We will figure things out when we figure them out." Now, listen, there's not a lot there to break down from what Aaron Rodgers had to say. Like, there's no doubt about it. But that last part is like, we'll figure it out when we figure it out. I think that leaves his future in New York uncertain. Now, we know the contract situation. It's a very complicated contract. And honestly, where the Jets are at this point, if they could somehow get a bridge quarterback in there on a cheaper deal, I wonder if they'll, explore that avenue to get like a Justin Fields, a Russell Wilson type of quarterback in there, save some money on the cap. But I do think there's also a huge possibility that Aaron Rodgers does return to the New York Jets and is the starting quarterback, but we're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. But I did find this article from Nick Shook of NFL.com talking about just Aaron Rodgers. He said, "I spent a plenty of digital space documenting Rodgers' consideration of his uncertain future, including Rodgers offering to mentor the Jets' next quarterback while also admitting that would rely almost solely on whether the Jets still want him. I'll make the decision for New York's new regime of Darren Mougey and coach Aaron Glenn, rip the bandage off now, and move forward without Rodgers. It was a nice try, but their partnership ultimately didn't work out, which is fine." And there is really only one quarterback in this year's class that I'll be thrilled that the Jets could get, and it's very unlikely that Shedeur Sanders does fall to pick 7, considering you have teams that are drafting above the Jets this year that have a bigger need at the quarterback position, and they would love a guy like Shedeur Sanders. But, Aaron Rodgers, yes, he was not great for the New York Jets last season. The raw numbers look good. 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Like, he had a solid season for New York, but I do think it goes a little deeper on Rodgers on his, true play, because I think we can get duped by just the raw numbers, because you see 28 touchdowns, 11 picks. You're like, oh, Rodgers had a decent season. But if you really look at the advanced stats here, Rodgers did not have a good year throwing the football. And I feel like in the last couple of seasons, specifically with the New York Jets and obviously with the Green Bay Packers his last year there, I feel like he's gotten very careful with the football, almost where it's kind of becoming a detriment to the offense, where he doesn't want to, affect his touchdown to interception ratio. He just wants to take care of the ball. It almost seems like he's playing for the stats instead of playing for wins. And you can kind of see that reflected over the last couple of seasons. Like that 2021 season, he was awesome. I mean, 37 touchdowns, 4 picks. That was just 3 years ago. But that last year in Green Bay, he did struggle. 26 touchdowns, 12 picks. Really hasn't played a good year since 2021. So this would be an interesting decision. I think if I had to guess it, Rodgers will be back, just because I can't see a quarterback falling to pick number 7. And, if you're the New York Jets, do you really want to roll the die on a Justin Fields or a Russell Wilson type of quarterback, or a Sam Darnold guy who you'd have to pay a decent amount of money? Do you want to roll the die with those guys? I just am very skeptical of the Jets front office just completely pivoting off Rodgers, because I do think they slightly believe that they could potentially, go on a run this year and be a sneaky playoff team. But I ask you guys this. What say you? Do you want Aaron Rodgers back next season? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Now, Ian Rapoport had a very interesting quote on Davante Adams and his future with the New York Jets, broke down his contract, considering he is on the books for $36 million the next 2 seasons. It's a big-time contract, but Ian Rapoport, this is what he had to say. He says, "My understanding is the Jets have not been in contact with Davante Adams since new general manager Darren Mougey and since the new head coach Aaron Glenn came in and took over." But this is the interesting part from Rap. "They are not going to carry a $36 million cap number for a 30-something-year-old receiver." And, I am a big fan of Davante Adams. He is still a very good quarterback or wide receiver in the National Football League. But if the Jets can move off Davante Adams, I think they should. Like, if there is a team out there that is interested in trading for the veteran wide receiver and you can move off that contract, I say you do. We talked about a Dallas Cowboys trade earlier on this offseason where they could potentially give you a third-round pick for Tay. Now, yes, you would be losing draft capital considering you gave up a second-round pick for him, but I think it would be a good move for New York just to cut bait, rip that bandage off, and move off Davante Adams and take that massive cap number he has over the next 2 seasons and move it into other places on this roster. Like, go get another defensive lineman next to Quinnen Williams. Go shore up that right tackle position, because I also do believe wide receivers nowadays are coming out and hitting at a way higher level. So you could just draft one in the 3rd round, pair him up with Garrett Wilson, and just get younger in that wide receiver room. But if you can move off this deal, I say you do it. And, about Davante Adams' play, this isn't an argument I'm making where it's like, oh, Davante Adams, he has lost the step. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say for the Jets situation, I don't know if Davante Adams being on the books for that massive cap hit makes a lot of sense. But, I mean, he was coming off 1,500 yards in 21, 1,500 yards in 2022, 2023. He was still solid as well, and he's actually been fairly healthy besides dealing with that hamstring injury last season. So, Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers, big fan of their games. I think they're two really, really, great players in the National Football League history, but are they past their prime? Yes, 100%. And do you want this Jets organization to yet again cater to Aaron Rodgers? Because we saw it like the last couple of years. Everybody in that Jets organization did whatever Aaron Rodgers wanted to do. Bringing in Lazard, bringing in Nathaniel Hackett. You pretty much brought in, Aaron Rodgers' posse, and even trading for Davante Adams. That was a move for Aaron Rodgers. And did it work out? Absolutely not. So hopefully they are not going to, this new regime is not going to cater to Rodgers. Darren Mougey, Aaron Glenn, this is your program. This is your franchise that you are running. It's not the Aaron Rodgers-led New York Jets. It's the Aaron Glenn, Darren Mougey-led New York Jets. So hopefully they make that decision and cut bait if they can with Davante Adams. But I'll ask you guys this. Let us know. Would you trade Davante Adams? Give me a T for trade or give me a P for pass. You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I think it's an interesting debate. I'm not saying like what I'm thinking here, cutting bait with Davante Adams is 100% the right decision. If you think Tay still has a lot left in the tank and could be very impactful for the New York Jets this upcoming season, then you guys let me know your thoughts. Would you trade Davante Adams? Give me a T for trade or a P for pass. And also, if you guys want more NFL, NBA content on your Twitter timeline, I'm on Twitter talking about the Jets, talking about other teams in the NFL. So hit me up over there. @PatSeeps is the Twitter handle. If you guys do so, give me a follow. I'll give you guys a follow right back. But it's going to be an interesting offseason for the New York Jets. I still think Aaron Rodgers is the biggest domino to fall in this whole, offseason for the Jets, because they decided to cut bait with him. You have a lot more money in free agencies to go shore up the rest of this roster. But again, like, if you bring him back, are you trusting that Aaron Rodgers can get the most out of this team, most out of this offense? I still am skeptical on that, but again, we'll obviously have to wait and see. But again, friendly reminder, hit that subscribe button, lock us in. See you guys next time. Go Jets.